Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another scene for the living world of darkness of Rage Across New York. We are setting our scene in the Sept of the Green, where 10 Point has been nominally spotted yesterday and not spotted at all today. In fact, 10 Point has not budged from underneath her pack's cabin, perhaps shifting here and there, but for the most part, just laying. Completely dejected, completely sapped of energy, and just slumped in the nice, comfy, dry, dead leaves and whatnot that tend to get blown up under such a building as this in that little crawl space. But yeah, she has stayed firmly walled off and is just stewing in her own unhealthy thought process. It's just such a good day to be 10 Point.
Bam! You could hear the signature bat against the fucking thing. Right at the top of where she normally burrows.
Like just clonked on the floor above her?
Yep. I mean, hits it quite aggressively.
Here gives a twitch.
Then another absolute god-walloping whap. Boom!
This time more of her will twitch.
You have approximately about 20... You hear Aiden, you have approximately 30 seconds to clear that fucking area 10 Point and get the fuck out of here. I will start counting. You hear 1, 2, 3, you know.
There's some fast seconds there, buddy. But yes, 10 Point finally
Don't you contradict my second count. Go.
10 Point will lurch up out of the leaves. And very prompt like can be heard kind of crunching her way through back towards the front of the cabin, where she tends to emerge just alongside the stairs.
He's waiting right there, bat over his shoulders.
And she slinks out from under the porch, slinks all the way over to where he's standing, and just kind of collapses back onto her belly, right at his feet, nose probably propped right next to his shoe.
You mean to see Sheila?
There's just a tiny negative shake of head.
Why not?
I can't, Raya.
You can't see. You crack his neck. So you're disobeying me then?
Her tail is already kind of curled under. Curls a little more tightly. Right, I can't do what you've asked without putting your kinfolk at risk.
Putting my kinfolk at risk? Let me guess, you're tainted, right? How do you cure yourself of a taint?
I don't, Raya.
Oh, I see. Well, the day may come when you won't be able to have that option to cure yourself. And now you're telling me you can't. For all the work I've done for you. Fascinating. It honestly feels like you're spitting right in my face.
And she continues to just kind of lay limp on the ground right in front of him. Again, nose kind of plopped down right next to one of his shoes.
And you lying in here like some sick fucking disease. Is this you fighting the worm, is it? Is this you trying to be what you talked to me before that you so wanted? Is this you doing that, is it?
We can't have what we want, Raya.
Oh no. And yeah, we're at the setup somewhere. Because, oh Jesus.
We're about to be.
Yeah. You gotta aim that bat straight for her fucking skull. Right, she's on the ground. That's difficulty 6 for the bat.
It's 5 base for the bat.
5.
Prone is -2.
Yeah. And then I'm aiming, so it's difficulty 5.
So yeah, +2 back to 5.
So that's 1 success. And +2 for the head. This is gonna hurt. This is really gonna hurt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 straight to that skull.
She soaks all of it. Wow. That's 6 successes on 6 dice.
Still one hell of a. It's still one hell of a hit.
I'll still say it gives her a bit of a loop, even if it doesn't leave like serious damage. I'm sure that getting clocked straight in the head with a shillelagh is enough to leave anyone a little loopy. So she's hit square on. She's hit hard, and somehow, maybe it glances just so, or maybe she's just really, really hard-headed. It doesn't do any real damage. She still lets out a yipe, but doesn't even doesn't recoil, doesn't pull back. She just kind of lays there defeatedly.
Look at you. You're the one to try and tell me you don't get things what you want. Who the fuck are you? And you just want to throw away everything that we've worked for because you gave into a moment of passion. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to, 10 Point?
You said yourself, Freya.
You're just going to give up, are you? You're not going to prove me wrong, are you? Is that what I made you for? Is it?
You've never been wrong yet, Raya.
I see, and so you just want to sit there and wallow and cry your little eyes out and not earn your way back. No, you just want to give up. You're no better than fucking Forlorn. If you're going to take that attitude. You're no better than any of the fools here. I thought you were Fiona. I thought you'd earn me. I thought you'd fight for me.
I don't know what to do, Raya.
I gave you what to do. And what have you done with it? Sat there and told me we don't always get the things we want. Like you would know.
Raya.
You can't. Or you won't. Now, I've watched Sheila's house. I've watched and I haven't seen you do anything. Do you think I'd leave you there on your own, do you? Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I'm watching you?
She scrunches up a little bit. Gets a little smaller, as best one really can in Krynos. As this apparently hasn't occurred to her.
Do you think I asked Sheila? Have you visited her? Do you think I notice things? Do you honestly think I don't sit there and wonder things? Do you know what auspice I belong to? Do you know how dangerous it is to leave a Ragabash on his own thinking?
I didn't mean to disobey Raya.
But you did. You sat here, wallowing. When you should feel guilty, yes, but you've done nothing to earn it back. Nothing at all. Instead, you've given me half-hearted excuses, low-lying reasons. When you haven't fought for it. This could have been your moment to really show that you're past that. We all have moments of weakness, 10 Point. It's what we do with them afterwards that makes us who we are as Guru. And right now, you're showing me you're no better than those fools who claim that inaction, that all this shit is worth it. You're no better than those metis who sit there and give excuses for the way they are.
And by the end of this, she's probably like adopted like a mild tremble, just kind of shaking.
Now, are you a real Guru and a real Fianna, or are you one of these people who are just going to hide away from the world? Are you the person I've put faith in?
I still don't know what to do, Raya.
You twitches just a tiny bit.
I know what you want, but not how to do it.
Start small, day by day. Help Sheila, know about her, talk to her. Go to Chad's mom. She's lost both her sons fighting the worm. Understand the sacrifice they've made. Understand them and her. Understand the price you carry. Understand it.
How can I go near them like this, Raya?
You do it. Because if you don't, then what's the point? What was the point in all of us ever doing anything? What was the point in you doing the things you want to do? You go out there and you earn yourself. Because otherwise, what is the point? 10 Point. What's the point in fighting the worm? What's the point in fighting? If you don't learn, if you don't try to learn.
Then she picks up her head a bit. It's a very plaintive kind of expression. The ears slicked all the way back. But Raya, it's already worse. It's already worse than it ever was.
Because you're letting it be. That's why it's worse. Because you're letting it be worse. You are. Not me, not Dallas, not Banshee, you. You're letting it get worse. But you're sitting there under that thing, festering.
I didn't want to spread it, Mariah.
You are spreading it by doing what you're doing. In fact, doing what you're doing is far worse. Far worse. And you know it. You're just too afraid to fight it.
Her head just kind of drops back down. She's still kind of scrunched, but still definitely just defeatedly on the ground.
Get up.
The ears kind of give a puzzled twitch, but that's definitely firm enough that she obeys and starts to heave herself up off the ground.
Get up and shift down to Hamid and look me in the eye and don't you dare look away.
And there's some mild hesitation, but she'll get herself upright, pause for a moment, as if conflicted, and then affect the very slow shift to Hamid.
You stare at her quite intensely.
She'll go nothing. Yeah.
You sitting here wallowing and crying and looking down at me like you're a broken piece of meat as you spreading the fucking worm. As you festering around. That's spreading the fucking worm. You start to circle her like a shark. You ignoring your duties. You doing all these things. You contemplating every mistake and harrowing it because you've made a mistake. Is spreading the worm.
She's
you
finally
driving your Pac-Man insane. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, she's finally upright, but especially as he starts to circle, she still has very indrawn posture. She's got her arms kind of wrapped around her, very, very pulled in.
You worrying your pack mates about you. Sitting there, letting them fester. Letting us all fester. Spreading the worm. And you do nothing about it. And sitting there looking at me, all hunched over, like a broken pile of sticks. That's spreading the worm. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. But if you've never tried and just want to give up at the first sign of a mistake, a real mistake, then what was the point in ever us taking care of you? What was the point in me caring for you? Answer me that.
I've made so many mistakes in my time, but none of them were like this.
And now you've just learned one of the biggest lessons we have to learn. One that Hamids learn the hard way. Ones that are not born into the nation. You've just learned it. And it came with a price. But now you're wallowing and retreating from it, instead of taking it for what it is, a true lesson. No, you just dwell on it.
It was the sin of my parents, Raya.
Yes, it was. And now you're being exactly like they were. You get right in her face.
She
Right.
shrinks back.
No, he pulled her right in, so she basically forcefully has to look up at him. And are you going to be better than them? Or are you going to carry on the legacy that they made?
I don't want to be like them, Raya.
Then why are you acting like them?
I didn't know. I don't have my confessions. I don't know how to absolve something this big.
What did I just tell you to do? What have I told you to do? Listen, 10 Point. But no. You ran off. You hid. But you didn't listen.
I listened, Raya.
But you chose not to do anything. Therefore, you never really listened in the first place.
I didn't want to be a risk to the kin.
Enough of that shite. Enough. You're being even a bigger risk by sitting here wallowing. And don't disgust me with answering otherwise. You kind of... He'll open up his link and she'll see how worried he is. Like, completely, really, really, really worried about her.
And yeah, upon emerging, she probably finally pulled the walls down so she can actually see and feel.
Yeah, she just feel worry and a grim determination to help her get through this, but he won't sugarcoat it. That's what she's getting from him through the link. He respects her enough not to bullshit her.
Yay. All right. So yeah, she will be blatantly stricken when she finally opens up and he finally opens up in return. And there's not just a mountain of wrath and disgust. And that there's genuine concern, and you can almost see the knees start to give, but she keeps herself upright. But the wash of relief.
I want you to be better at 10 Point. But I'm not going to sit here and hold your hand and cry with you. We're not raised to do that.
I've never been taught how to fix something this big, Raya.
Well, now you're learning. Do the things I told you. Learn the price of it, the true essence of it. Go to Chad's mom, go to Sheila, look at these people. Especially Chad's mom and what she's lost.
I know, Raya.
No, you don't. No. Not yet. Not truly. And now you're learning it. Look at the price of the things and the actions you've made. Look at them. Go into the kin. Study them. You don't have to tell them goddamn fucking anything. But be there. Around them. Heal them. Because they suffer just as much as we do.
She finally just, for lack of a compelling answer, weakly bobs her head in a nod.
You made a mistake. A big one. But to punish harshly, to not teach you something that was not taught you before would seem a very unwise thing, would mean that you never really made any progress at all. Would defeat the purpose of us being here.
Why would they teach us, Raya?
It's an important lesson to teach. The true price of these things and the weight it carries. Why it is that we're not supposed to do that. The true price of it, the true cost of it. How it can twist and gnarl and corrupt all of us. Why not teach that to a person, especially the product of such a thing? It seems almost cruel to do that.
I've always known why, Raya.
But you've never understood it. The urge, the desire, the need. They've never been explaining to you how it can twist and bend. Now you've seen it.
It would be a wasted lesson on most of us, Raya. Nobody
never
loves
a-
a Mattis.
Shakes his head. It's never a wasted lesson. And if you start thinking it's a wasted lesson, there's no point in learning it. Then there's no point in being what you are.
You're right. You're always right. I just don't think they expected us to ever live long enough to learn it, Raya.
What we expect and what actually happens are two very different things. And for them to teach based on expectations is a poor teaching.
And whatever other argument she has, whatever other points she thought she needed to make, they just kind of die on her tongue. Just kind of rolls in her lips.
Reach up and touch her face. We all believe in you, 10 Point. It may be harsh, and it may sound harsh. But if I didn't care, I wouldn't be here trying to fix you, trying to help you.
I thought you would hate me, Raya.
No, I was angry, yes. But I wouldn't hate you. Not for this.
And come the even just the light touch on her face, there's another just veritable tsunami of relief.
I'd hate you if you gave up. If you threw it all away. That's someone I'd hate you. Because it meant that you threw everything I gave to you away. Everything I've done for you away. But I know you're not going to do that. Are you?
It's a very weak little shake of head.
I need you now. Clean yourself up. And walk out there like an actual Fianna. Like an actual member of this pack, like my pack sister. I need my 10-point back, not this.
She kind of hastily picks up a hand, rubbing at one of her eyes, kind of, wiping the palm across her cheek. I didn't think you would want me back, Raya.
As long as you prove that you're willing to atone for what you've done and do it the right way, you'll always have a place.
And you'll still be watching, Raya, in case something goes wrong.
Of course I will. Sheila knows you're going to be helping out with her. I didn't tell her why. I just said you needed to help out with a few things. She might even ask you a few questions. And I'll be there, watching, through most of it. You'll know I'm there. You'll feel me there.
And her face does that weird falling thing, that kind of pre-cry expression. And there'll be a hasty nod. And then I will roll one more time. We'll not do it in this fucking chat, which is the wrong chat. And, well, there's definitely... well, let's face it. Both their minds are open at this point. So he can feel just how desperately she wants to kind of nest back up into his arms, kind of wants more contact, more reassurance, but will maybe even rock a little bit in place, shift her weight, but doesn't move to indulge it.
You take a step forward. Just remember who took care of you, who takes care of you, and who is that 10-point.
You've always taken care of me, Raya.
And who are you the most loyal to?
To you, Raya.
And would you swear that before any Philodox, any of these people?
If you wished it to be known, Raya.
No, 10-point, I'm asking you. I'm not asking you, would you die for me, 10 Point? Nah. I know you would. I'm asking you, would you live for me? Could you do that? Could you do that? Stare at her. Quite intensely, actually.
There's a numb, tiny nod. Do anything for you, Raya.
Then trust me.
And considering that she's been like eye locked, I will. I've just never been more afraid of myself.
He'll smile at her. Very slow smile as he circles right in so he's up against her. And you're not afraid when I'm there.
And yeah, if he finally like circles the arms around her and everything, she gratefully kind of, she doesn't straight collapse, but you get the idea, promptly leans in and like half collapses against his front.
Fear of oneself is what keeps oneself aware, 10 Point. He'll look down at her. But if you find someone that you cannot be afraid of yourself with, then you've truly mastered your fear, haven't you?
It's another tiny, barely perceptible nod.
And who do you not feel afraid of yourself around?
And you, Raya.
Then trust me. I stare at her again.
I mean, unless he like tips her chin up again, she has like done the whole tucking under his jaw, the whole 9 yards. Probably has like a death grip on his shirt.
And when you make Foster and you see everyone, and you start to doubt yourself again, who are you going to look for?
You, Raya.
And why is that?
Because no matter how much I doubt myself, Raya, I trust you.
Then trust me now, then, he says for the 3rd time, staring at her. The stare is darkeningly intense.
Yes, Raya.
Very good. Now go and clean yourself up. You've got work to do.
Yes, Raya.
You stroke her hair very gently. Don't disappoint me. Don't make me doubt my faith.
Never again, Raya.
That's my girl. He smiled and run his hand through her hair and then let her go off inside.
She is obviously very loath to disengage, seeing as she hasn't properly spoken to him or engaged with him in nearly 2 days now. But as he starts to kind of pull back the arms to give her room to move, she will She will force herself to compliantly kind of untuck her head, let go of his shirt. And while she doesn't quickly leave his presence, she will not at any point actually stop in the process of disengaging and turning and taking herself inside. It's just a little on the slow side, a little lingering.
Oh. Yeah. No, I think it's a good place to end it, I think.
Well, very well then. With that, we'll say thank you, players, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. We will see you next time on the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.